Ahead on Q2 against all odds.
Huge success story for each and every one of these young men.
4 Wyoming wrestlers continue to jump over every challenge thrown their way after surviving a grizzly bear attack. Plus, winter makes its return. Gusty winds blowing in rain, snow, and cold temperatures that could lead to treacherous driving conditions. Ed will be in with the latest. And a new man in charge.
Getting that fire station was the fight of my life.
Miles City former fire chief now leading the way in Lockwood. The MTN 430 News starts right now. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Andrea Lutz. Tonight we go inside the amazing recovery of 4 college wrestlers in Wyoming. You may remember over a year ago, we first brought you this terrifying story. 2 of these athletes gruesomely attacked by a grizzly bear. But in a bizarre twist, both lives were saved. Our Scott Breen shows us their recent road to success.
Tonight, here on the campus of Northwest College in Powell, an encouraging update on 4 wrestlers, 2 of them lucky to be alive.
I've probably told the story 1,000 times.
Hundreds, probably.
A lot. And it stirs up emotion every time.
The story is well documented, even drawing national attention. This is Kendall Cummings. He and 3 of his wrestling teammates were shed hunting or searching for antlers about a year and a half ago here. They'd split into pairs.
Me and my buddy unfortunately got attacked by a bear. He got attacked first. I ended up grabbing the bear, pulling it off of him.
You heard that right. Cummings attempted to pull the bear off Brady Lowry.
Then the bear chewed on me for a while. Fortunately, I lived through it, and my friends came up the hill for me, and we all made it out of there alive.
Orrin Jackson vividly remembers first sight of his friend.
The most gruesome thing really was when we found Kendall. He was walking down to us and his entire body was just covered in blood. Cheek was all tore up and he was scalped on the head.
Skin pretty much falling off his face and covered and drenched in blood.
Reflecting now on his impulse to physically attack a bear, Cummings admits he sometimes thinks to himself, who does that?
I do from time to time kind of think back on it. It was just instincts and it happened so fast. Being underneath it, it felt huge, but I bet it was like 400 pounds.
So, what are these 4 friends up to today? Well, 3 of them spend a lot of time here in the team's small locker room / home away from home.
We take turns getting the laundry done.
Jackson is ranked number 5 in the country at 165 pounds and wrestles this week as Northwest takes 8 to the national tournament. This will be Jackson's last as he heads toward graduation.
My goal is to be a national champion. If you're not going to the national tournament with that goal, then you shouldn't be going at all.
As for Cummings,
kind of train with the guys and helping them get to where they want to be.
He'll graduate with a business degree and wants to open a real estate brokerage. August Harrison graduated last year and is now a volunteer assistant coach for the Trappers.
It's awesome. I love watching the kids improve every day and helping them help them make their goal.
He's been a big help to me, helping me, perfect little details in my wrestling.
You were my kid.
And this is Lowry, the friend Cummings saved that Saturday afternoon. He suffered a compound forearm fracture, grinded through a 3-month recovery, then completely defied odds at last year's national tournament.
Having not won much, the guy rolls all the way to the semifinals with 3 pins, beating a 4 seed and a 5 seed, and ends up on the podium in the 5th place.
Lowry graduated. He's now a plumber and volunteer coaching at a high school in Idaho. Though distance separates him, the 4 remain close.
Huge success story for each and every one of these young men.
They do still shed hunt, though more prepared and vigilant.
There's a lot of mountains that are much safer than where we were that day, so we try to hang out there as much as we can.
Ziegler admits he's always been uneasy with the outings, and now more than ever.
Yeah, I'm still uncomfortable with it. Just the thought of it terrifies me.
Still, he's proud Northwest College has provided every opportunity for the guys to succeed, and they've done it.
True resilience, in the face of adversity, they made it through.
In Powell, Scott Breen, MTN Sports.
We do want to get it right over to the Weather Center as a quick burst of winter is once again greeting the area, blowing snow, ice, and much colder temperatures. Montana and northern Wyoming will be seeing a little bit of everything over the next 36 hours. Those conditions already being seen on the western side of the state as snow-covered and icy roads are already making travel difficult. For the very latest on what we're going to be expecting tonight, here's Chief Meteorologist Ed McIntosh.
And here's a look. This is from Bozeman right now, and a live shot. Well, at least it's trying to move along there a little bit. You can see the snow flying there with temperatures already down into the 20s, a little bit of a northwest wind, but the snow definitely flying around. In Billings now, a very similar shot as you take a look with the Stockman Bank weather cam. We're at 27 degrees, and that happened in a big hurry. Temperatures just really have slipped very quickly in the last hour, hour and a half. North wind at 14 miles per hour. So this is what it looks like statewide. Readings in the single digits from Cut Bank all the way to look at the teens along the high line, then 20s in Billings. 56 for you in Sheridan after being up into the 60s today. Miles City, you're starting to feel a bit of the chill. And Cody, you're wondering what we're talking about with temperatures in the 40s and some sunshine. But here's where Doppler radar is pushing in some of that snow right now. Bands of a bit heavier snow from Roundup down towards Billings and Hardin, and rain switching over to snow quickly. Forecast coming up.
There's a new man in charge at Lockwood Fire District. Chief Brandon Stevens tells me the day applications opened for the chief position in Lockwood, he drove all the way from Miles City to be the first one to turn in his application at 8 in the morning. He hopes residents know that's the kind of motivation he brings to the position. As Chief Brandon Stevens takes me around his new department.
Honestly, it's been a joy. Everybody's been great.
It's a much different scenario than the last time we saw him.
Where the crews used to be. Getting that fire station was the fight of my life.
We first met Chief Stevens in Miles City. You may remember this, a fire station unlivable, unstable, and in dire need of repairs.
It was hard to leave. You know, because you put, I put 23 years in Miles City.
And much of that time rallying the public to build a new fire station, eventually getting a bond on the ballot where voters said yes.
It's a lot bigger than I had realized. I wanted to be in Lockwood. I wanted to be at this department.
But now at the helm here in Lockwood.
You know, timing is timing, and so I jumped at this opportunity.
That fight in Miles City to better his department is the same kind of energy he says he wants to bring to Lockwood.
And he is really tried to get things to turn around with limited resources, and he's excelled.
However, this time his goals are different. Just 3 months onto the job, and he's already creating a document for strategic planning in an area seeing hypergrowth.
Whether that's more employees, a second fire station, having highly trained firefighters is vital to keeping this community safe.
He says he wants residents to know he's confronting Lockwood's own specific issues with careful planning and consideration.
I knew this is the place for me.
Chief Stevens says he's already hit the ground running, working on a Medicaid and Medicare survey as the Lockwood Fire District runs its own ambulance service with fully staffed paramedics. A temporary ceasefire deal for Gaza could soon be on the way, but Israel's prime minister is vowing to complete his mission to defeat Hamas. This news comes as Palestinians in the southern Gaza city of Rafah brace for a possible ground assault by the Israeli army. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says peace cannot be achieved without total victory. The ceasefire could mean a 6-week pause in fighting and the release of dozens of hostages in exchange for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. The Federal Trade Commission sued to block the proposed merger of two of the nation's largest grocery chains. Kroger's $24.6 billion merger with Albertsons would be the largest supermarket merger in U.S. history. The FTC says if the deal is complete, it would harm consumers and workers by creating an anti-competitive environment. And it could also lead to higher grocery prices, prevent employees from securing better wages and benefits. Regulators say both chains acknowledge they're aggressive competitors and competition forces lower prices. The 3-person commission voted to seek a temporary restraining order in federal court. Montana is rich in access to public lands. However, some of that land has special rules controlling when we can use it. MTN's Chet Lehman recently talked with Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks about the importance of public lands and our responsibility to care for them.
This land behind me, almost 1,600 acres of Montana land, is special. Right now, it belongs to Montana's wildlife and will until the middle of May. This is the porcupine unit of the Gallatin Wildlife Management Area, and it's critical land for some of Montana's wildlife.
Provides winter habitat, winter security for wildlife to help get them through the most difficult time of the year. For that reason, this wildlife management area, along with many others around the state, are closed this time of year to all public access.
The bulk of Montana's WMAs will open on May 15th. Jacobson notes the importance of the closure time and why everyone needs to follow those rules. Montana is rich in wildlife because of rich habitat like these wildlife management areas. It's a few months out of the year, crucial months for wildlife, but for some, truly a matter of life or death.
One of the reasons why we have such extraordinary wildlife resources in Montana is because we have amazing habitat like this. And that's why places like the Porcupine Unit here of Gallatin Wildlife Management Area, that's why habitat is the primary purpose and priority of this area, is to be able to protect wildlife and give them what they need to survive.
Jacobson's message is simple. Follow the rules wherever you recreate. Stay off private land without permission. Pick up your trash. Use public areas as intended. Leave no trace. And in the case of WMAs, stay out until mid-May.
You know, the bottom line is that places like this that have wildlife, places where we like to go out and recreate, they belong to the people of Montana, and we want to take care of them. We want to make sure that they're usable and enjoyable and in good shape for generations to come.
For more information on Montana's wildlife management areas and the rules for them, head on over to the Fish, Wildlife and Parks website. Just outside the Porcupine Unit of the Gallatin Wildlife Management Area near Big Sky, Chet Lehman, MTN News.
Montana's own Lily Gladstone continues to make history and represent Montana at the Screen Actors Guild Awards on Saturday night. She won the award for Best Female Actor in a Leading Role for Killers of the Flower Moon. Her portrayal of Molly Burkhart in the film also won her a Golden Globe, the first Native American person to earn that award. The SAG Awards are seen as a preview for the Oscars. Gladstone is the first Native American woman to be nominated for an Oscar. Still to come on the MTN 4:30 news on Q2, changes are brewing on the weather. Ed has all the details right after this.